Alright guys, so this is the introduction to WuFoo. It's basically the application that is going to run your job applications. So, a couple things. I started you a Gmail account, which is First American Courier Careers at gmail.com. The password will be in the email that I send you after this. And then we have WuFoo. So that's what you're going to use to sign into WuFoo is this external Gmail account. You'll also get alerts, through this from time to time, for either the website or for the job applications. When an application is submitted through WuFoo, you'll see it here, but you'll also see it in your whatever that account is that we have hooked up to your website. I believe it's just careers at First American Courier. So let's go ahead and sign in here. We're going to log into WuFoo. We're going to use that email address I provided, First American Courier Careers at gmail.com. The password I'll also send you in an email after this video. So we're going to go ahead and log in here. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. The application that you're going to be worried about is the one that says public. This one actually I'm probably just going to delete. It was one of the test ones. But First American Courier job application, we can go ahead and click on that. This will show you all the different fields that are available to you in the application. I want to make sure you understand that if you add anything to this specific form, it's not going to be reflected on the website because you have to actually pull the code from this and actually put it on the website to make any kind of form changes. If you find the need to do that, I suggest running it by me. Give me a call, and then I can pull the code off and put it in there. It is not the easiest thing to do, so I would just give me a buzz if you have anything that you want to add to this down the line. So what we'll do now is we're just going to come back over here to forms, and there's a bunch of different things you could do here: edit form, share form, view entries, which we'll look at in a minute, view payments, which you guys aren't using that part of it, and then set password. We don't have that. So we're going to go ahead and view the entries. So these are the entries for that specific form that we created. Now it looks like there's only 2 test entries in there, one that I did and one that you guys must have done at some point. So what we're going to want to do here is view the entry. And if you didn't catch that, that's that was right over here on the right hand side. So you're going to go ahead and hit view the entry. And then it's going to tell you, it's going to give you, some information, all of the information that, the user submitted, including their IP address. Because of the way that we have this set up, they're not able to do multiple entries. The reason for that is basically because we don't want like some spam bot creating, 50 applications for you guys. So we only accept 1 per IP address. If that becomes an issue at any point, please let me know. I can open it up for multiple entries. I don't see the purpose in it, but let me know if that ever becomes an obstacle. So now we're just going to scroll down here. You'll notice along the top you're able to actually go in and manually edit their forms. So for example, the reason you would want to do something like that is say somebody put in some wrong information. And because they're not able to go back, we don't want to make them have to go back in and completely resubmit the form and reinvent the wheel. So maybe they call you and say, I put the wrong address in there. I typoed my phone number. On your end, you can go in and edit this entry and actually go in and make any kind of modifications you want to the form. At that point, you can print the form. You can email it to somebody. You can also jump down to the comments. The comments section is for you guys. You're able to kind of go in there and kind of maybe if you want to say, Hank, I really like this candidate. These are the reasons why. Please take a look and look at this job seriously. Blah blah blah, something like that. So you're able to kind of go in there and make your own kind of first initial judgments And then you can download the entry, which it'll allow you to put it into like a CSV format where it's just plain text, or you can download it as a PDF. I suggest printing it as a PDF. Um, it just makes it easier for everybody, and it saves you guys on space. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as a PDF right now, just so that you guys can kind of see the process. But the one thing that I do want you guys to notice here, it is not going to save the PDF as John Smith. It's going to say entry number 2. Okay, so at this point, what you're probably going to want to do is remove this 2 and come in here and put John Smith. Come up with your own labeling structure, however you guys want to do this. That's entirely up to you, but I always suggest using the date created, so October 16th and then John Smith, or whatever. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And then hopefully yep. And then this is going to be the actual entry here. So you guys will be able to kind of print this off, forward it around, do whatever you need to do. So that's how this one actually kind of pushes itself out. So yeah, and then you'll notice in this, once you do the download, it's not going to download the actual upload of the attached driver's license and proof of insurance. It's just going to let you know right here that that's available. So you have another step that you have to do, basically. Obviously, you can go back. And, I mean, I'm assuming that you probably don't need this information unless you're actually going to process the person's employment, like actually hire them. So this will let you know that part has at least been done. Now, if you want to actually download that and keep a copy of it, what you have to do is do it from here in the actual entry itself. So then you would come over here and you would basically download these 2 things first, and then go ahead, save it into whatever location you want, and then kind of move on from it from there. So again, I mean, I don't know that this is necessary until the actual employment's been processed. So I mean, I think once you make your decision, you just kind of come back in here and download it down at that point and print it. I'm not telling you how to run, what you guys are doing, but that just makes the most sense to me. But at least at first look, at first glance of getting, the report or the application, that at least that it is attached. Or so that you can, print this out and write in there, that you need to get this information from the person. So, in a nutshell, that's pretty much what all this, product is. There's not a lot to it. Let me get back over here. Again, I mean, right now we're not paying. We're paying for the mid-range one. So I believe you get 1,000 entries. So, I mean, if you get 1,000 job applications, inside of a year, we can always bump this up, which will also give you more users that will be able to use it, more forms, and a little bit more flexibility. But until you hit 1,000 applications in a year, I don't see the need to purchase this. So we'll just kind of see how that goes. You don't have any new or more users. You guys only have the one user, which is the reason why I created the separate Gmail account. So basically, you can hand this Gmail account information out to any one of your employees, whoever you guys want managing this process, and nobody's going to have to share their passwords or anything like that. So themes you don't need to worry about. Reports, I don't think you need to worry about until this starts becoming a nightmare. I mean, you can go in here. This is usually just for people that have multiple forms. They're dealing with 10, 15 different forms, across several different business units and or departments. You guys got one form. You don't need reporting, I'm guessing. And then, files, obviously are, these uploads. So this is kind of what we're, dealing with right now. If you guys have any questions, and files here. So you're able to actually kind of see, the thing is that it doesn't actually have the name of the person that it actually attaches that actually attaches it to their file. You can see the date and time that it was created, so that's how you would match that up. So this is obviously because it was October 16th. This was the John Smith one. Most people that will put this stuff in here, obviously this is called transit recall notice. I'm assuming that anybody that's going to upload their license, it's going to be something like Joe McAvoy's license, .pdf, Joe McAvoy's insurance.pdf. I know that won't be in all cases, but this is again another easy way for you to kind of manage those files. Keeping in mind though that you only have right now a gig of space. So once you get up to a point where you got 150 applications out there, we're going to have to do some cleanup on this. So, let's see once we get to that point. I'm going to say probably the next 4 to 5 months, we'll come back and check on this and make sure that we're not pushing the limit of, how many files you guys can actually keep here. And again, it seems really easy that you can go in here and actually delete these files to save space. So once you know that an applicant or a job has closed, you can go in here and actually delete that entire window from when that job was created. So that way you're also not, collecting any personal or saving any personal information of anybody else's. But I'm assuming that you're probably going to download these files with the actual application, in which case we would come in here and then just delete these because you'd have a hard copy of them somewhere else. But as far as the workflow and the process, I think you guys personally are going to have to use this for a little while to kind of decide what you want your workflow to be, and then we can kind of adjust this process as needed. But for the most part, that's it. If you guys, obviously all of these little tutorials are just like kind of like an initial run through. So based on what I'm giving you right now, if you want to walk through it yourself, play around with it a little bit, there's not a whole lot that you can do, especially now because there's no actual applicants in there. So feel free to go in there, goof around, delete some stuff, add some stuff. Just don't ever delete this form, obviously. But outside of that, we can feel free to play around and ask me any questions that you might have via email. But I will be talking to you guys on Tuesday, and we'll go from there. See you guys. Bye.